What up, YouTube? It's your boy Jerome, and I'm coming to you tonight with a review for Love and Hip Hop New York, Season 9, Episode 4, and it was titled Triggers. So, without further ado, we are going to get started with that video. Alright, everybody. So, I'm going to start up with Maggie and Mano. So, we are introduced to Maggie in Episode 4, and, she and Mano, they are having a friends and family day. So, we find out that Maggie takes care of her brother who has diabetes, and I think she said he's blind as well. So, she and Mano, they live together, they take care of him, which is pretty cool. So then we have Yandy. Yandy shows up. She tells us how she knows Mano and how she met Maggie. And then, Mano leaves Maggie and Yandy to talk. And, Yandy's talking about how I think she was there at the performance that Mano had in episode 1 or 2. I can't remember which episode it was in. The one that Maggie didn't show up, where he was at that club that Maggie got shot at. And Maggie was like, she didn't go because, again, that's the club that she got shot at. So it's just hard for Maggie to set foot back into that place. It's actually hard for her to set foot into any place because she has PTSD, which is understandable. She got shot, being out supporting a man. And I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with her, what she's saying, because shit, she almost lost her fucking life. So I can understand where she's coming from, because I probably would feel the same way if I was in her situation. Like, I wouldn't want to go out, I wouldn't want to be around nobody. Like, it would just be kind of scary for me just to want to be in anyone's presence, knowing that the last time I went out in a big crowded event, I got shot in the leg. And Yandy's talking about how she wants to do this girls' day event where she wants Maggie to come. And Maggie's like, I'll think about it. I'm not gonna tell you yes, but I'll think about it. And then we see Sin and we see Joe come in with their baby Lexington. And then Sin is talking to Yandy, talking about the last time that they saw each other was at Jonathan's party, which they kind of touched on it, but then Yandy wanted to just let that shit go. And, then we have Joe and Mano talking to each other. So, Mano talking about how he's trying to get back into, the swing of doing everything. And, talking about how, he has his brother who is in the legal system, his mother who is sick. And then, the whole thing that's going on with Maggie. He actually feels guilt for what happened to Maggie. And I don't think he should feel guilty, because it's not like he knew that it was going to be a shootout at the club. So I don't think he should feel any guilt at all, because it's not like he did something. It was other people's stupidity that ended up doing this. So I don't think Mano should feel any kind of guilt whatsoever. All right, then we see this scene where Mano is talking to this boxer. His name was Danny Garcia. And, Mano just talking about how he wants to get himself back up, and he also wants to get Maggie back up. So he comes up with the right idea to take Maggie to this guy Danny Garcia's boxing match to get her out the house, get her around some people. It doesn't have to be a big crowd of people, but just get her out of the house, get her out of her PTSD state, and again, just get her out and have some fun. So then we see the scene where Maggie, Mano, and her brother are, outside. Mano's playing basketball. So then he comes up to Maggie and her brother. His name is Julius, or Julian. I can't remember which one it was. And he's telling them how, he wants to take Maggie to that boxing event. And, Maggie is apprehensive about it because, she doesn't want to be in a big crowd of people. And, he said, we're going to be at the front, so we're going to be close enough to where we can, like, throw popcorn or whatever at the judges. And then, she still is like, she doesn't know. She doesn't feel comfortable with it. So then we see Mano, he leaves. And, Maggie is a very beautiful woman. But the thing that kept driving me crazy in this whole particular scene was the fact that I could see the lace right there on her forehead. It was not blended into her scalp. Like, it didn't match at all. But like I said, Maggie is a very, very beautiful girl. I just want her to get burned that particular wig and get rid of it. But the other ones she had on were beautiful. But that one wig that looked like a Ronald McDonald wig, I just want her to burn it because it was ugly. And, she's talking to her brother, and, she's telling her brother, he said that we're close to the stage, so like we could throw popcorn at the judges, but that means that we're further away from the exit sign. And, her brother's just trying to talk to her and tell her, you thinking with you, it's you're looking at the glass half empty, half empty, half full, and this is an event that people pay to go to, so I can't really see them fighting or shooting. Which I get where her brother's coming from, but in this world that we live in today, people pay to go see a lot of things, and it's not necessarily the people who go there that shoot up something. You can have some whack ass, crazy, wackadoodle, crazy person come in, like the guy who went into the movie theater and shot the movie theater up. So I definitely get where he's coming from, but it's not always people who pay to go to these events that end up shooting it up. Sometimes that is the case, Unfortunately, us niggas, if we go out somewhere, sometimes niggas just do not know how to act, and they start to fighting and they want to start to shooting. So I get where her brother's coming from, and basically what it is her brother does not. He's so used to Maggie being outgoing and carefree, and it's cool to still worry about things that happen, but she doesn't have to be as worried as she is. I think Maggie puts a lot of focus on what happened in the past, that she cannot move forward with her future. And I can't say I blame her for feeling the way she feels, because again, she almost lost her life, and she got shot in the leg. So I don't blame Maggie, but I think Maggie should get out of Maggie's head a little bit and allow herself to live her life, and stop thinking about the past. Move forward with the future, but be cautious and about what you do. So that's just how I feel. So then we see Maggie and Mano. They are in the car and they are heading toward the boxing event. But then Mano lets us know, he thought about it and he thought maybe this is not a good idea. And I'm like, cool. It was. I don't think it was. So personally, I don't think it was a good idea, and I don't think it was a bad idea. I get where Mano was coming from. He wanted to get Maggie out of the house, get her back to who she was. I definitely get that part. But I don't know if taking her to a boxing event where there's a big, huge crowd there was necessarily the best idea. Take her somewhere that's a little less crowded, and somewhere where she is easily close to an exit sign, so that way she doesn't feel bombarded, claustrophobic, whatever. So I definitely get where he's coming from. But then Mano lets us know that he has another idea in mind. And then the idea was to take Maggie back to the club where she got shot at. Now, the thing about this is it's closed, so there's nobody in there. And, he gets an E for effort. An A for effort. He gets an A for effort. But I don't know if I would have necessarily did that to somebody. I get where he's coming from and I get why he's trying to do it, but I just don't necessarily 100% think that was the best idea, because I kind of feel like Maggie. So, in the sense of, one, this is the place that I was shot at. I almost lost my life at. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that I would never want to go out again. It would just take me some time to want to get back out into a group environment or, a club scene, any kind of thing where there's a lot of people. But for sure, I would never want to step foot in a place that I got shot at, because that would just bring up too many memories, and it just wouldn't be something that I would want to face. Even if I got shot in my house, it would take me a long time to want to come back to my house, and I would try to, if I leased my house, I would try to figure something out so that I don't have to be reminded of what happened there. So I definitely get what Mano was doing, but I don't necessarily think I would be for going somewhere where I was shot at and I almost died. So, I guess I could take it out of my house, because shit, I would pay bills here. I live here, so I would have to come back here. But if it's like a club, a bar, anything like that, somewhere I don't necessarily have to go to, then I won't ever set foot in it again. And that's just me. That's just how I feel. People might feel differently, but that's how I feel about it. And everybody can let me know how they feel about that, and we'll discuss it. All right, so next we got this bootleg ass barbecue that Safari is hosting, with Nia Lee is there and Jacquay are both there. And Safari is talking to Jacquay because Jacquay posted a photo of him and Cayenne. So, Safari wants to know if Jacquay is trying to get Cayenne back. So basically, yeah, he wants Cayenne back and he wants to make up for things that happened between him and Cayenne. And, Safari lets him know, well, shit, you might have a chance to make up with her. So Cayenne does show up. Cayenne speaks to Safari and she speaks to Naya. And when Jacquay tried to, speak to her and give her a hug, she's like, skirt, hold up, nigga. I ain't with this shit. So, Safari and Naya leave Jacquay and Cayenne to talk. So, Cayenne asked him, why are you posting me? You doing this for clout. You trying to get my attention and stuff like that. And then she lets us know that on her birthday last year, Jacquay came to the club that she was at. He bought her some flowers. But then later on that night, he was, with another girl. So that's why they broke up, because, the nigga cheated on her. So then, they start to argue. And she says, tell Safari what you said about him. And then she says that Jacquay said that, the song that he had last season with Jacquay, Mariah Lynn, and that girl Brittany, that Jacquay wrote it for him. And, Cayenne telling him he's not a rapper. All he does is write. And then, also she says, tell Safari that you said that his robbery. Wait, did she say that in this scene, or did she say that? I might be getting ahead of myself, so I'm gonna stop right there. All right, so after the bootleg barbecue, backyard barbecue, Naya decides to meet up with Cayenne, she and Safari, minus Jacquay. So they meet up, and Cayenne is telling Safari that that basically Jacquay was talking shit about him. I don't know if she told him about the song, but I know she told him that Jacquay said that when it came to the robbery that Safari had last year, that he felt like it was fake and it was for insurance fraud. I'm like, God damn, like, you think this nigga, and he was on interviews crying about it, like, you really think that brother sat there and faked that shit? Now, Clutch and Pearls, we remember his robbery. That shit was clearly fake. Like, I never believed that Clutch and Pearls got robbed, but I definitely believe Safari's. Definitely believe that one. And, Cayenne also said that Jacquay is only loyal to those who can, basically help him. He's not loyal to anybody. And I'm like, well, shit, I mean, it is what it is. Like, I mean, if you can help me out, then shit, you can help me out. It's a win-win. Like, we can be friends and you can help me out. It's a win-win. Not really, but, that's how some people think about it. Not me personally. Oh, good God. Jacquay is gonna Sean John us to motherfucking death. Like, I swear to God, if I hear this nigga say Sean John one more time, I'ma scream. Actually, what I'm gonna do is, if this nigga say Sean John one more time, I'm gonna take a shot of whatever the hell is in my apartment. Like, I'm gonna take a shot, because that nigga says Sean John like it ain't a motherfucker. Like, damn, nigga, we get it. You model for Sean John. And then he throwing out free clothing. Like, nigga, what? You ain't throwing out no free Sean John shit. That's something that's some fake ass. Nah, I ain't gonna say fake ass, but that is something that is probably like $19.99, $29.99. Scratch that, $19.99. Like, come on. So, we got Jacquay obviously is there, and we got Sin. Sin ain't really got a purpose this season. I'm just noticing that. Sin is like atmosphere in the scenes that she's in, because she doesn't do anything. She's just there basically to collect the motherfucking check, which I ain't mad at you, Sin. Like, collect your money, bitch. So Niley is there and Safari there. So, Safari is talking about what Cayenne said. That Jacquay said that he faked the robbery for insurance fraud. Shit. Jacquay did not answer that motherfucker. Jacquay said, you know what? I'ma exit stage left, to the left, to the left, to the left, to the left. And the nigga went to the left, to the left. I think that was a pussy move, to be quite honest with you. If this is your homie, you could at least say, hey man, that ain't true what she's saying, or hey bro, yeah, I thought it was I thought it was fake. I thought it was for insurance purposes. That's all you have to say. You walking away made the situation worse. All right, so then we have this beach day that Yandy has set up for the girls. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, I'm like, what girls is Yandy going to invite? Because she's not friends with Kimbella. Um, I don't know that Remy would, well, Remy may have came. Um, yeah, I don't know who she was going to invite. But I was slightly surprised when I saw the girls that she invited. So we see Maggie, she did show up, which I thought that was cool. And then we see Juju. So, Yandy and Juju have made up with each one another. But, Juju's like, the same thing I said, bitch, who the fuck did you invite to this shit? Like, I don't know who you invited. But I'm going to show up. I just don't want no motherfucking drama and keep it at bay. Why did Juju say that? Because who walked up? None other than Anna motherfucking East with that raggedy ass, fucked up ass wig that she got on. I want Anna East to just rip that wig off, throw it in the ocean, and let it fly away. Just sail on away. Sail on away. That's all I want Anna East to do with that wig. So, Yandy and Maggie leave Anna East and Juju to talk. So, Anna East turned into a grown ass woman. She apologizes to Juju, and I'm like, whoa, where'd that come from? Like, that shocked the fuck out of me. But she apologized for how she acted at Jonathan's party. She said that she was tripping, basically, which she was tripping hardcore. Like, I really truly 100% didn't understand why Anna East felt the need to come after Juju. Like, if she had an issue with Juju, she should have not even pulled Juju to the side. She should have, well, no. She could have pulled Juju to the side and said, hey, Juju, I think that me and you need to sit down and have a conversation about something. Not right here, not right now, but at a later date. And, then sat down with Juju and told her how she felt. But, I thought it was a mature move of Anais to apologize. And Juju accepts her apology. But then Juju says how she felt attacked, which I can definitely see how Juju felt attacked because of the shit that Jonathan was saying. Because like I said, you had Anais who was coming at Juju for her friend. And then, you had Jonathan who was saying that Kimbella was saying stuff that Kimbella technically didn't say. So I definitely can see how Juju felt ambushed and attacked. So then, Anais tells Juju about the meeting that they had with Jonathan, where it was her, Sin, and Kimbella there, and how basically Jonathan was blaming everything on Kimbella, on the East, Anais, and then he says that Juju should have been there since it was all about her, which I definitely agree with that. Juju definitely should have been in attendance, and then Anais calls into question Jonathan being a friend to her and Juju, which I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I know how I feel about Jonathan with Anais. Anais was taken up, defending her friend. So I think Jonathan was wrong in that sense. Now, when it comes to Juju's situation, I do think he was wrong. I think that if Jonathan felt any type of way about Juju not, with the whole podcast thing or radio show and thing, whatever it was, I think Jonathan went about it the completely wrong way. He talked to Yandy about it. He talked to Kimbella about it. He talked to everybody about it, minus Juju. So I think Jonathan was wrong for what he did. And Jonathan should just be a mature person and just say, you know what, Juju, I was wrong. I shouldn't have had this conversation with Yandy. I shouldn't have had this conversation with Kimbella. I should have just came to you and been like, you my friend. Sorry, y'all, I hit the mic. Sorry, I know I hit the microphone. Didn't mean to. But just say, I'm sorry, you my friend. I should have came to see you. I should have addressed my issue with you, and we could have moved forward from there. And that's just how that could have worked out instead of the whole shit that's happened so far. But this is Love and Hip Hop, and they have to do stuff for ratings and for a storyline. So what else can you say? All right, so lastly, we got Juju and Jonathan. They are meeting up with one another. So, this is all after the beach where Anais told Juju everything she told her. So, they're sitting down and, Juju is telling him how she felt ambushed. That's what it is. She felt ambushed at his party and how she was there to support him. And then, Jonathan tells Juju how he sat down with Kimbella, he sat down with Sin and Anais, and how he got into Anais' ass. And, he was disgusted by what Anais did at his party and how they got into it with one another. And, Juju's like, it's funny you should mention that because Anais did tell me about that, how, you all met up, how you were talking about me and how she felt like I should have been there. So then Jonathan does apologize to Juju. And, then he brings up the podcast that he pitched to her, but she took the meetings without him. And, Juju really kind of did not want to talk about that. But Jonathan is like, you know what? I don't want my feelings to be dismissed, which I definitely agree with him. This is how he feels. And I feel like Juju should have at least just said, you know what? I hear what you're saying. I acknowledge what you're saying. I apologize if it felt that way. It really wasn't like that. So, they could have moved on from there. And, question. I was looking at Jonathan's lips the whole entire time because they were really pink or reddish. And I'm like, is Jonathan wearing fucking lipstick? So, then it goes really left really fast because, Juju says that she cares about Jonathan and how he's thrown away their friendship and, about a meeting that she had for this whole podcast. And, then they bring up the fake and phony thing, which he says he feels from this whole conversation that they're having with each other that Juju is fake and phony. And she's like, I'm fake and phony. I'm fake and phony. And then, like I said, they are arguing with one another. But Juju, at the end of it, she just gets up and says, you know what? Fuck it. I'm out. You can sit here and look a fool by yourself. So that was Love and Hip Hop New York. Like the video. Leave your comments. Subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys later. Oh my God, speaking of Love and Hip Hop, we are literally almost 2 weeks away from the premiere, season 2 premiere of Love and Hip Hop Miami, which I'm excited about. I'm really excited about it because that will go into 1 year that I've been doing YouTube. I've had my channel for next year will make 10 years that I've had my YouTube channel, but I've only been on camera doing YouTube videos for 1 year on January 2nd. So I am really, really, really excited for January 2nd. I'm going to be doing Love and Hip Hop Miami, and I'm going to be doing Black Ink Crew Chicago like I was in the fall. Also, I did see where I read on Twitter where they are doing some casting for a Love and Hip Hop Houston and New Orleans. So hopefully we'll hear more about that. I know last year when they did Miami that they were filming Houston concurrently, but production got shut down. So hopefully this time they have a great cast for Houston because I'm ready for Texas to be put on the map with Love and Hip Hop. I know it's ratchet, but there are some talented people here in Texas, in Houston, and here in Dallas. So I'm looking forward to both of them if they do come to fruition. And I am so looking forward to Love and Hip Hop Miami because New York is really dead. Like people always talking about how, New York is good and Miami is boring, Atlanta is boring, and Hollywood is boring. I'm like, those are the most interesting ones of the franchise. And New York is the one that started the Love and Hip Hop franchise, and it's the worst one to me. So I will see you guys later.